Chelsea have been one of the most active teams in the transfer market. I mean, even deadline day alone last night, bringing in Zakaria and fucking Aubameyang, and now he's coming back to England to take on the cursed Chelsea number 9 jersey. I think that can only go badly. Hello guys, how are you getting on? My name is Aaron Kelly and you're very welcome back to another episode of the Premier League Verdict. I hope you guys have had a good day and have enjoyed the midweek fixtures. I know I haven't. What do we think of the new addition to the setup, by the way? The little poster behind me here. Basically, what I believe is like the album cover for One Step Beyond by Madness, and it's got Todd Bowley at the front, Thomas Tuchel, Mason Mount, Thiago Silva, Reece James and N'Golo Kante. Seen that at Stamford Bridge a couple of weeks ago, so I was like, that would look cool in the setup. Just a shame the team is shit. Really. We'll get into Chelsea later on in the video, but before we get into anything, leave a like on the video if you do go on to enjoy, and subscribe if you haven't already. We're going for 1k before the end of the year. We are currently at 600 and something, so it's possible, it's doable, probably not going to happen, but we're going to do our best. Green box, you could just literally play my clip from the last video, Erling Haaland. What do you want me to say? Like, what can I add to what I've said about Erling Haaland that hasn't already been said? Like, seriously, the man is a fucking joke. He's a machine. Another hat-trick, this time at the hands of Nottingham Forest in City's 6-0 win at the Etihad during the weekend. He's now on to 9 Premier League goals. I think he's broken a record for the fastest player to reach that milestone. He's also the fastest player to score 2 hat-tricks. It's only taken him 5 games to do so. I think the next quickest was actually Demba Ba, and it took him 21 games. Ridiculous stats. He's breaking all sorts of records. The man is a fucking joke. A cheat code, if you will. And he's becoming a real problem. His post-match interviews as well are just quality. Quick, concise, to the point. I'm going to say what I'm going to say, and I don't give a fuck who's watching. And not only that, a perfect hat-trick in City's 6-0 win as well. I mean, I just don't see how City aren't the favourites to win every single competition they're in this season with this man in the team. And again, proving that he can score in any circumstance. Right foot, left foot, header. Doesn't fucking matter to him. João Cancelo was also on the score sheet with a brilliant strike. And Julian Alvarez also scored 2 absolutely brilliant goals for Manchester City. A damning evening for Nottingham Forest. One that prompted them to go out and sign even more players on deadline day. But if we're not careful, lads, the green box is quickly going to be changed from the goat emoji to just like a little Snapchat kind of head cutout of Erling Haaland. Because he's in it every fucking week. And you know, I said it in the last video, I'll say it again. I'm not going to go into as much detail as I did in the last video because I don't want to be fully repeating myself. But this boy has the attributes and the quality of those attributes to get to the very, very top. I do think he's going to win the Golden Boot this season, and I think he's going to have an absolutely stellar career at Manchester City. Quality oozing out of him, everything you'd want out of a centre forward, and he's fitting beautifully into that Manchester City team. Chances that maybe wouldn't have been finished off last season by the likes of Jesus and Sterling are now being gobbled up by Erling Haaland, just as I kind of expected it to. Like I said, there were some people who for some reason thought Haaland wasn't going to do well, but you know, we've already discussed those people, haven't we? Moving quickly onto the yellow box then, and a controversial end to the game at Anfield during the week in Liverpool's 2-1 win over Newcastle United. Fabio Carvalho gets the box because he scored a 98th minute winner at Anfield. Alexander Isak had given Newcastle the lead with a perfect start to his Newcastle career. Lovely finish. He probably should have had a second. I was looking, he had one ruled out for offside as well, which was definitely touch and go. The line's incredibly tight. Bobby Firmino made it 1-1, and then was the big moment of the game for Fabio Carvalho. Now, the controversy lies in the fact that the referee, Andre Mariner, had added on an extra 5 minutes to the 90 that get played in an average game. And the fact that Fabio Carvalho scored in the 97th minute of that 95, I think it was actually given as a 98th minute goal, so it was right at the end of the 97th minute, which sparked a massive controversy online. I understand why. You know, this controversy probably comes, and the complaints probably come from a lot of people who didn't actually watch the end of this game. I think there was a couple of incidents where Newcastle were time wasting, i.e. kicking the ball away, fellas going down with injuries. There was one stage where Pope Joe Linton and Matt Targett rather, all went down pretty much simultaneously with cramps or various injuries, whether they were legit or not. It was still taking up valuable seconds, which Andre Marriner added on at the end. Now, I get the argument, that it's Liverpool getting their way off the referees again. I understand the argument, but if you take those wasted seconds into account, I do think Marriner probably made the right decision in playing for as long as he did. However, I have seen cases where teams have made substitutions during stoppage time, and they have continued to time waste during stoppage time, and still the referee only plays the allotted amount of minutes that he's given in added time. Some referees will do that, some referees won't. It's just a shame from Newcastle's standpoint that Andre Marriner chose to add on the extra seconds that were spent being wasted with Newcastle players falling on the deck at Anfield during the week. Either way, Newcastle will probably feel hard done by, because obviously it's a goal in the 98th minute of 95, and I think that second Isak goal, good chance it could have stood. I think on another day it definitely could have stood. But it's 2 wins on the bounce for Liverpool nonetheless. Not as impressive a performance as it was against Bournemouth in the last game, but another win for them sees them enter the top 6 for the first time this season. And again, fair play to Newcastle. Really putting it up to one of the big boys, going to Anfield, playing their normal game and putting Liverpool under severe pressure. I think Eddie Howe could be really proud of his team's performance, especially considering they were missing a good few players as well. I don't think Saint-Maximin played. I don't think Bruno Guimaraes played. So lots of positives. Newcastle are going to be fine this season and will cause the odd scalp probably when they come to Stamford Bridge, if we're being honest. Speaking of which, Chelsea again are in the stinker box. It's getting honestly so depressing at this point. A 2-1 defeat at the hands of Southampton. I actually recorded an after-match reaction, which was actually the morning after Southampton beat Chelsea at St Mary's on Tuesday. It was posted on my TikTok. If you haven't seen it, here it is, because it covers a lot of decent points. Chelsea Football Club are finished. I left recording this until the morning after because I was so fucking angry last night, but now I've woken up, I'm even more pissed. Fuck a title race, right? Fuck a title race. Chelsea Football Club are getting nowhere near the top 4 even this season, man. It's done. You have to laugh, otherwise you will cry. They actually played some nice football up until they got the goal. Raheem Sterling scores because, of course he did, he's the only attacking fucking option. How many times have we seen it with this Chelsea team that once they score, they just forget how to fucking play football? All around the park, Thiago Silva aside, the only one that I can give any sort of credit to last night, Thiago Silva. Apart from that, the rest of them can get fucked! Xavier gets the first one after some suspect defender from the corner, and shocking goalkeeping once again from Edouard Mendy, but a really nice strike by the young man who was absolutely excellent once again. Adam Armstrong then makes it 2-1 just before half time. Again, suspect defensively and goalkeeping wise. Adam Armstrong with probably his first goal since his fucking championship days. And really, only for Thiago Silva, this game could have easily been 4-5, 6-1 in that second half. And that's not even an exaggeration. 2-1 does not tell the whole story of this fucking game. Southampton were utterly dominant. And honestly, I had Southampton down as a side for potential relegation this season. They might even still. They absolutely battered Chelsea. And the scoreline didn't flatter them at all. But it's okay. It's okay because we've got Gvardiol possibly coming in. We've got Fofana coming in. 2 more fucking centre-backs. So it's okay. Let's ignore the fact that Mason Mount was shocking once again. Kai Havertz is nothing short of a fucking disgrace. Jorginho and Loftus-Cheek, absolutely shocking. The lads that came on, like Ziyech was shocking. I feel like he only came on, but he actually started the game. That's how little an impact he fucking had. Christian Pulisic, piss off, mate. Piss off. I'm done. I'm fucking done. It's just an absolute shambles all round, really. Once again, Chelsea going to a team, scoring a goal, going 1-0 up, looking fully in control, playing some lovely football, as I said. But again, just down in tools as soon as we score the goal. It's like we have no plan B. Like, the plan A works for a certain amount of time, then we get caught, and then we just fucking panic and there's no plan B. There's no plan B. And, you got to look at the manager in that sense, but you also have to look at the players down in tools, which I definitely think they're not playing for Thomas Tuchel at the minute, which is always a fucking worrying thing to have to say. But, Chelsea have been one of the most active teams in the transfer market. Even deadline day alone last night, bringing in Zakaria and fucking Aubameyang, which, Jesus Christ, that's a whole separate video for another day. I think Aubameyang is the definition of a panic signing. I think would have been a good signing 6 fucking years ago. Now he's at a point where he was fucked out of Arsenal, went to Barcelona, it didn't really work for him there, and now he's coming back to England to take on the cursed Chelsea number 9 jersey. I think that can only go badly. I'll happily be proved wrong on that point, but there is so many problems, and I don't see... I've seen this story so many times before with Chelsea Football Club. When the going gets tough like it is at the minute, I think ultimately what will end up happening is Thomas Tuchel won't be in charge of Chelsea come December. And, that is a shame. I really, really like Thomas Tuchel. I want him to succeed. I think he's been a fantastic manager for us, but no Chelsea manager ever lasts too long before the cycle ends, unfortunately. Players down in tools. And I have to argue, again, we're coming back to the transfers. I mean, whatever, bringing in Zakaria, Aubameyang, whatever. Like, Fofana came in during the week as well. I would much rather... If we had, now this is going back a couple of months ago, possibly a couple of years ago, I would much rather have Mark Gahey playing centre-back with Fikayo Tomori rather than Fofana and Koulibaly beside Thiago Silva. That's just my opinion. I'd also rather have Tammy Abraham up front over Kai Havertz. I still think that is one of the biggest mysteries since Thomas Tuchel come in, is how he completely froze out Tammy Abraham. I know he had Timo Werner, he had Kai Havertz, who were brought in for big money, so he kind of had to play them. Lukaku a little bit later on than that. But Tammy has been smashing it in Serie A, and I'm so happy for him. But it wouldn't surprise me in one bit if Chelsea went next transfer window, alright, we're going to spend 70 million to bring Tammy Abraham back to the club. That's just how fucked our transfer policy is. I don't know, lads, I don't know. It's just so fucking depressing, and I have to try and tell myself now that I'm not going to get too emotionally invested in it, because if I don't, I'm going to get very angry all the time, and my weeks and weekends will be ruined by Chelsea Football Club. So I'm going to try and kind of emotionally remove myself from the situation, because it's fucked, and it's only a matter of time before shit really hits the fan, because we are now currently the only traditional top 6 side that aren't actually in the top 6 at the beginning of this Premier League season. Do you think I've any faith going into the game against West Ham the weekend? Not a hope. Fulham after that. Fulham have started the season really, really well. Have made some impressive signings. Livan Kurzawa came in on deadline day, and Willian is back in the Premier League now with Fulham as well, which is a very, very strange one. But I have no faith in Chelsea Football Club going forward, because we only have one plan, and when that fails, it's just bins. It's absolute bins. Who knows, maybe the new lads will come in and do something. I can't see Zakaria or Aubameyang. Zakaria kind of feels like a bit of a Saul signing from last season, kind of a panic to bring in a midfielder towards the end of the window, because we're clearly light in that area. But I don't know, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. I've gone past the anger point, and I'm now just depressed when it comes to thinking about Chelsea Football Club. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Leave a like on the video if you have enjoyed, subscribe if you are new, and I will catch you later.